Hey, ladies and gents, this is Xetheus with the second installment of Cash for College. We explained this promotion here yesterday, where the college or the high school graduate who's going to college is attempting to raise some dough, and he's halfway to the goal up the pyramid. And you can remove that so folks can see what's going to be up for sale. It's a real heavy hitter here. Xetheus, the action figure that started it all when it came to Four Horsemen properties. All right, I have a couple of special guests here. Gabriel, say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so he's graduating today. And here is his cap, and here's his tassel. So he's going to toss that. It's going to be a virtual graduation online, and it'll be unique, if nothing else. Say hi, Miggy.
Hi.
So, all right. So I've got a studio audience today. The figure that is going to be on sale on eBay underneath the store of Xetheus, Izdawiz, is not this one, because this is my personal Xetheus figure, which I love very much, and I have on permanent display in my collection. The figure that is going to be on sale is this one. It's minty mint fresh on card. Look at how beautiful that is. It hasn't seen the light of day, so the card is crystal clear. It's not clouded at all. Look at how beautiful that is. He's got his double-bladed battle scythe there. On the back, he's got all the other exclusives that were offered. And this is the figure, the fantastic exclusive figure number one, the one that was voted on by the fans. And it defeated all these other contestants to become the first of the Horsemen's exclusive figures to be made. And the rest is history. So these are very hard to find. Do a search on eBay and for completed auctions, and you'll see that they rarely come up for auction, and when they do, they go for big bucks, especially if they're on card and they're in a great shape like this one. But let's take a look at Xetheus, the blue. I don't know if Minotaur ox. I love the fact that he's blue because I used to be a big fan of Paul Bunyan and his blue ox. Are you guys aware of Paul Bunyan? Did you guys read those when you were kids?
No.
All right, because it was a big deal. Paul Bunyan was a giant guy who had a giant blue ox, and he would go around chopping down trees. He wasn't very environmentally friendly, eating giant pancakes. His footprints were so large that they made the Great Lakes. And he had a blue ox, and now I have a blue ox, and his name is Xetheus. And he's beautiful. He was the start of the Seventh Kingdom franchise, which is, there was Seventh Kingdom, then there was Gothetropolis, and now there's Mythic Legions. But this guy is really well articulated, incredibly well sculpted, and it started it all for the Four Horsemen. So if you are a Four Horsemen fan, if you're a Mythic Legions fan, you got to have one of these in your collection. And he came out a long time ago, so like I said, they're not that easy to find. So the first thing about him that's really remarkable, I think, is the level of detail and the level of sculpt. And this is I think this is my favorite action figure of all time. If I could only have one, I would pick Xetheus. And the beautiful level of paint and sculpt, and these are sharp. You could poke your eye out with this. You could poke both eyes out because it's a double-bladed scythe, and I can prove that right now. You want me to try it, Miggy?
Not really.
Can you attest to how sharp this is? Look at that. Feel that. Right?
It's very pointy.
It's very sharp and pointy. So Xetheus is a godlike figure. He's got the visage of Xemnas emblazoned across the armor on his chest. So I don't know if the camera does it justice, but this is just an incredible level of paint and sculpted detail. Like if you look at this belt, look at those little silver rivets, like round rivets on that belt. Just to think that somebody painted those. I don't know how. You get somebody at a factory who can, produce that kind of level of detail, and then you have all these different beautiful painted details. The eyes, everything is absolutely neat and clean. But those folks in those Chinese factories can do some amazing stuff. I love the fact that he's got like battle damage on his armor there, so it looks like he's been in a couple of battles, and he's just armed to the teeth. Not only does he have this double-bladed battle scythe, he has this H-blade, so he can poke your eyes out. 1, 2, with this as well.
In case your eyes were a little bit closer together than the...
If you're like, say, a giant or a troll or something, he could poke your eyes out with this. If you're just a regular, heroically sized 6 foot to 8 foot combatant, then he pokes your eyes out with these. And then he also has these 2 daggers here in the front, which they're molded in place, so they're decorative and you can't pull them out. But I like to think of that as some sort of a religious item or religious daggers that he would pull out, to with some sort of ceremonial thing. I love everything about this. I love the design. You've got Xetheus there on the you've got Xetheus here on the knee pads. This sort of sculpted detail, which is echoed up here, the shoulder blades. So I guess he could charge you, could get you with his horns. He can get you with these, what would you call those?
Shoulder spikes.
Shoulder spikes, ornamental shoulder spikes. He could rake you with these things on the side. He could battle you with his hooves. And you could look at the hooves in there. You could see even the bottom of the hooves is sculpted. So, joints are nice and tight, and there's multiple points of articulation here. You got swivel at the hoof, you got hinge at the hoof, you got double jointed knees, you get a bunch of different joints. Obviously, you have an ab crunch, you have a waist swivel, and then a good range of motion on the shoulder, elbows, hands everywhere. There's a tail coming out in the back. There's this kind of relic that fits in his belt, but you can take it out. I don't know what it is. Looks like a baby rattle. The Xetheus death rattle, maybe. He rattles it. And he's got a couple of pouches here. I don't know what he sticks in there. He could stick his weed in there. I don't know. And then this here in the back, there's that cow horn, and I think you could probably like put some weapons in there. Like it's kind of like a weapons holder. But hey, look him up. Xetheus Xetheus is a legend. I love those red eyes. He's got a scar over one eye. He's got a couple of earrings in his ear, and he's just, like I said, I think I probably have, this is probably my favorite of all time action figure. And so this is a very, very special opportunity, if you don't have this, to go get it on eBay. It's not going to be cheap because, like I said, these are rare. They're never going to be produced again. And this is where it all started as far as the Four Horsemen, the Fantastic exclusive, and putting out their own action figures. So let me show you some other. I like Minotaurs of all kinds and all shapes and sizes. And there's this one. This is the Mythic Legions Minotaur, which is really super cool as well. But as you can see, this is more of a Minotaur, right? Where it's got the bull head. I don't know, which do you prefer? I kind of prefer the all furry version, but this is cool as well. Where it's
all furry is cooler.
All furry is cooler, right?
Yeah.
But this is a Mythic Legion. This is the Mythic Legions version of the Minotaur, He's obviously a bull and very cool, but you don't beat Xetheus for like the number of unique weapons, sculpting, and all of that. But this is, I would say, the second coolest Minotaur ever made because it's also made by the Four Horsemen. Let's see here. This is, by way of comparison, a Minotaur from, what is this? Narnia, the Narnia movie, I think. And this is very cool too. I really like this one. And it was a really cool design from the Narnia movies. And one of the cool things is that he has an articulated jaw, so he can
Slightly open and close his mouth.
he can speak, he can give speeches or whatever, rally the troops. I love this guy. He doesn't stand up all that well, but he looks super duper cool. So I would say this is maybe my third favorite Minotaur. And I actually, Xetheus came with a lot of other Minotaur buddies. So I would say Xetheus first, and his Minotaur buddies in second place, and then the Mythic Legions Minotaurs, and then this Minotaur, and then last but not least, this guy. Here, what do you think? I don't know, man. I mean, I just love this. I love this sort of classic design, and to me, he's fun. He evokes power, and he's just great character to have. And it doesn't matter if it's just 2 points of articulation like this guy. He's just darn cool. Do you guys don't know Paul Bunyan? Do you know the myth of Xetheus and the Minotaur?
Is that just the normal Minotaur thing?
No, it's the Greek, yeah. And the maze and all that stuff. And you have Minotaur hangs out in a maze and eats people and stuff, and he has to be defeated by the hero. So anyway, go to eBay if you want to look at this guy and you want to bid on him. Like I said, this is part of my promotion that I'm doing with my son called Culling Collectibles for College Cash. See how I've gotten better at saying collectibles, because for a long time I couldn't say that word. It was always collecticals. Culling Collectibles for College Cash. And yeah. So I really never sell figures. So this is very, very unusual for me. But I hope this guy, because this is the one that's going to be for sale, brings someone as much joy as Xetheus has brought me. I have all of the Xetheus products. I have the Xetheus bust, and let me see if I can show you that before I sign out. Hold on. All right, check this out. This is another prized possession of mine. It's a Xetheus bust, also from the first Fantastic exclusive, and I got this one specially painted up by Nate Barch, artist extraordinaire for the Four Horsemen. And this guy, I believe, is probably, when I die, is probably going to end up going in the coffin with me, because I don't think anybody could possibly appreciate how awesome. Look how big he is. Look at that sculpt. Look at that paint. Nate did an awesome job on this. So I'm a big fan of Xetheus. I think he's a must-have. If you're a Four Horsemen fan, if you're a fan of Mythic Legions, don't miss out, guys. Again, the eBay store name is Izdawiz. IZDAWIZ. All right. Izdawiz signing out. Say bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.